Hey everybody, this is Scott from Laura Hypnotherapy, and welcome back to day 5, the last day of the first week. Before we get into day 2, let's finish off the week strong. Day 5, honouring the finish line. And you've done so well submitting basically your central topic, what your plan is, and even breaking it down into code. And the whole point of breaking it down into code was to buy you back time, to not have to cost you that time and energy transition between having to get really focused and creative, or getting really responsive and extroverty, or getting kind of really big decision making, or very small in the details of admin, because they have such different energies that it's not worth mixing them, because we just want your day to go more smoothly, and when you have faith in the system, it just pays off. So zooming into here we go. So this is your year, the entire year. And you've seen with the way we break it into quarters. So a quarter, for anyone who doesn't know, is a quarter of the year. So it's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So we break them into the quarters. But then we break each quarter into 2 parts. And each part is it's a 45-day plan. And so just zooming in, so once you've got your central goal, one of these parts is one executed plan. So you've got one central goal. Is it to produce more one-on-one clients? Is it to run a seminar? Or is it to launch an online course? Your plan is these pillars here. So it could be the traffic, trust, sales. Once you've broken them down into what you're doing and into code, then you can just schedule 94-hour blocks over the next 45 days. So if you want to take days off within that, that's fine. So that if you take a Sunday off, that's 2 blocks you have to remove. If you want to take a Saturday off, that's another 2 blocks you've got to remove, because there is 2 blocks per day. And every single day that you're doing this, you're only using one of these 4 letters, or one of these 4 parts of code per 4 hours, which means you can only fit 2 of these in per day. And so this whole thing of goal and then plan and schedule, which is the GPS system, it just kind of simplifies your efforts. So anything can be a central goal. You can choose anything that you want, but generally the 3 that we choose from is the one-on-one, the seminar, or the online. The code is where you break it down. The only thing that you would really need the most amount of help with is the plan. So the plan, as you've been going through this program, we've been sharing resources, sharing kind of strategies. But the idea is to keep it really simple. So if you are producing an online course and you're wanting to sell it, the idea is traffic, trust, and sales, and then you break them down into smaller parts. If you're producing the online course as well, you would break that down into a 45-day plan. And so it's really not that hard. And so one of the biggest issues that people still have in their head is what we call a paradigm. So the more that we kind of learn about psychology, the more that we learn about paradigms, people's questions come with a bias. And what they usually do when they're asking a question is they already know what answer they want before they ask it, because it's the one that avoids growth. And so as much as you might be pushing yourself to grow and to get better, your brain comes with the counter idea to say well, let's stop all growth. And this is a saying that I've loved, because it makes a lot of sense when people are trying to, in a way, they're trying to go easy on themselves in the wrong way. They're trying to go easy on themselves by not achieving as much in their life, or by not being as aligned with their own goals, instead of being easy on themselves by don't beat yourself up anymore and sleep more when you're tired. Put better things into your body, stop putting worse things into your body. That's how you go easy on yourself. Don't insult yourself, don't call yourself names. That's how you go easy on yourself. But you do not go easy on yourself by reducing your life goals. It's like what the brain is trying to do to people is to try to get them as safely to death as possible. If that makes sense, they're walking along this line, their timeline of their life, and by the time they're dead, it's well, we got you to death safely. But if it's death, it's not safe. So that's what the joke is. So the idea is in between then, is to achieve things and take risks, because whether you aim high or whether you aim low, the effort is the same, but the result is completely different. And so you've got 8 of these parts per year. And again, one of the biggest issues people have is they start a goal, and we've had a lot of students do this piece of work and that piece of work and that piece of work, and they get up to here and they sabotage their own efforts by charging 10% of what they're worth, which exhausts them, which then they cannot have the passion to sustain it because they're not getting financially rewarded enough, or they don't have the flow because they haven't written that part of the list, or they've stopped taking breaks and boundaries, which means that they don't have the energy to continue, or it could be that with an alignment issue, they find there's a different niche that they want to try. The idea is no matter what you do, get the whole way through your 45-day plan, even if it's the wrong plan, and finish it. The only time you should start another plan is if you have finished your first one. So if you've finished your plan, then you can end up with 8 different plans per year. But if you haven't finished your plan in your first 45 days, don't change it. Warm it up again for breakfast and have it cold for breakfast. But it's that just spend the next 45 days finishing it, but make sure that you finish it. And if you go more than 90 days to do what should only take 45, then you need to talk to your coach. You need to find out why that's happening. You need to find out, well, what is it about your lifestyle that's going to keep you stuck forever? Or what is it that you don't know that you need to find out? Because these things are important. They're called a paradigm for a reason. That your subconscious is trying to get you to play small instead of getting you to align with your life's goals. Because when people go well, maybe it's not a good time in my life because I've got kids. Well, it's you're always going to have kids, and yes, they'll be at different ages. But it's about balance. You want to spend some time with the kids, and you want to spend some time on yourself. Business doesn't take very long. It's when I write, I know that I'm faster at it now because I've done it. But because I followed this system where I just went start, then pillars, and then got to the end, or I had a problem, I went through the pillars and got to the promise, everything flows so easily now. So it's that life is kind of that I'm in a completely different situation than I was in 2 years ago, or even just 1 year ago, because I'm just following the simplicity of this, and I'm coding my day. So that today, I went to a book writing retreat. I didn't really do anything else. The only thing I slipped in was a bit of O. So it's an extrovert event. I'm there to be an extrovert. I made contacts, I made friends, I started a new Facebook group, and it's starting to get big. The O for organization, I booked in 4 clients. I popped out of the room and booked in 4 clients. They weren't long sales calls, they were bookings. And then I came back, and the only other thing I'm doing today is this, which is again an introvert thing. So it kind of makes sense that I would not be doing any creative work today. Today is not the day for that. If I'm at an 8-hour retreat or a 9-hour retreat for that day, that's already 2 blocks taken. My brain's not going to be able to do creative work, otherwise I would get tired. And then I wouldn't have the energy because I haven't had the boundaries. So you do not want to be one of those people who, in a way, you start your goal, you get all the way to the end, nearly all the way to the end, and then you dump it, and then you go, oh, I'm going to go find some other niche, or I'm going to go change my price, or something went wrong, or I don't know if it's the right time in my life for this right now. Because what happens after that is then it happens again, and it happens again, and then it happens again, and then 10 years later it happens again. You're like, oh, maybe it's not the right time in my life right now. Maybe it's not the right time in my life right now. And that's what we call the procrastination paradigm, which is something that happens in the brain where the brain's trying to keep you safe, but it's not very safe to keep you there. So if you've heard of fight, flight, and freeze, so fight is when you attack the thing you're scared of, flight is when you run away from the thing you're scared of, and freeze is when you stand still in the hopes to become invisible. If a bear was coming to try to kill you, invisibility would be a good thing because the bear couldn't see you to kill you. But in marketing, when it comes to money, your marketing needs to be seen. Invisibility is not so good when it comes to marketing because invisibility is the death of marketing. So with all of the quarters, do them right and you can have that 6-figure business. That's all we want you to basically achieve, is that make sure that you're just getting your 45 days in a row coded with a central goal. Ask us about the plan. Get coaching with us. We've got programs that with payment plans that are ridiculously good. It's like that if you're not earning $800 a day, let's say with your one-on-one, 4 clients a day at 200, then something's wrong. It's so available that you should be getting it in a way already. It's it almost feels too late already. It's not too late. You can still do this, but just include it as one of your 45s. Set up a 2K per week income as one of your 45s. Then set up some retreats or set up an online course or whatever you're comfortable with, because people do go at different speeds, people have different desires. But take advantage of these parts and make sure that every quarter you do something that gives you, again, like more flow, something that gives you more energy, something that gives you more alignment, and something that gives you more passion. You need to stretch yourself to be happy. You need to be doing things that give you growth, or else it's going to bore you. You need to give things that give you money back, or it's going to not going to be sustainable. And you need to do things to your body, whether it's sleep or put the right food in, that allows you to maintain the mission, because like your happiness does come from your health. Literally, that like when you're just sick and just throwing up with stomach aches and everything, it's pretty hard to be resilient and happy. So you want to make sure that you're looking after yourself, and with your relationships as well. Like, I mean, here's a trick for like, if somebody's overwhelmed and crowded by too many people, literally just start putting up boundaries. Those people will be there later. If somebody's lonely, this is a technique that I've found, because like we all move to different ends of the spectrum. Like I've been on both. To cure loneliness, obviously pick a topic and go out and find places where there's people. But the other thing is you want to drop bad habits. People do not want to hang out with you if you're always criticizing yourself. Just stop it. Take a break from it for a couple of days. What I've found is that I've had more friendship attention, more, whether it's female attention, where it's more kind of client attention, like more kind of family attention, where once in a while I just stop thinking about them for a bit and I actually just give myself a break. I don't look at them for a bit because I'm just busy doing my stuff. And when you give people some space, or like when you're out there in the world and people can kind of see that they actually need to do something in order to get your attention, they start to give it to you, or else they kind of look at you like that your attention is so readily available all the time that why would they find you charismatic if they didn't feel that they needed to earn your attention in some way? So just don't always give your attention away as freely. Like when people say hi to you, that doesn't mean be rude. Offer a handshake, tell them your name, have a chat, but don't pursue people so vigorously to the point where people feel that you're not even a challenge to get your attention. It's like that. It's kind of weird that like I've been able to, you know, teach this to others and do it for myself, but get so much more attention from people when I want it, just by taking a break, not looking at them, like looking like I'm basically and just literally being in my own world, doing my own thing. That's kind of, it's attractive to clients who want to pay you. It's attractive to, like, say, potential mates who want to date you. It's attractive to friends who want to feel like not judged, but they want your attention. And consider yourself a person of value. Consider yourself a person that people actually do want to talk to. Consider yourself a person that people can find attractive. Or like if you're married or whatever it is, consider yourself a person that your partner can still find attractive and always will find attractive. Because it's a paradigm in the head. No matter what you're afraid of, these 4 general fears, the way we categorize them, is getting extrovert wrong, getting introvert wrong, getting energy up wrong, and getting energy down with reward wrong. If you get those 4 right, just by like starting and just by dropping the bad habits around those and just trusting in the flow of this map, be positive. You're already smart, you know what you're doing, and I guarantee your entire life's going to change. So thanks again so much for being a part of this program. So we've got another week to go. Yes, there's homework. So write out your 8 central goals, plan your first 45 days, and group your plan into 4 hours of code. Get that done, and you're going to love the results. I'll see you next week. Enjoy your weekend.